Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and
Welcome, Geeks and Gamers, to Geeks and Gamers Entertainment, where we make geeks and gamers and entertainment great again. We also bring the entertainment every night on Movie Madness. I got some new friends on the panel. Zeverfet. Maybe I mispronounced it again. I'm sorry.
No.
These are the brothers, Zeverfet over here. Go check out their channel. Maybe they'll comment on that. I'm not sure. And hey, he's another. Maybe they're both Madman, but I know one for sure. Mad Matt. He's got a channel too. I gotta check. You do some gaming on there?
Yes, sir. Funny moments.
Funny moments. I gotta check that out.
It's Mad Matt Vids.
Yeah.
All right, cool. They both have. I mean, they do collab. They have a channel.
I game,
together.
but it's on the Switch. It's offline.
Oh, only on Switch.
Mario
He's
Maker.
outdated.
Yeah, I have a gaming podcast on Sundays too, but it's a bunch of old fogey. I mean, they're my friends, so am I, but we do a lot of old school gaming. And
break
stuff.
out the Atari.
Yeah, and the television and
Pong.
Yes, pretty much. We got some topics to talk about. Definitely check out their channel. We might have them on again if they'd like.
Oh, man.
We'll see how it goes. Definitely check it out. And a lot of talk about Robert Pattinson today. It's the big news, so that's what we'll get into first. I did a reaction on it earlier.
Mostly John Campy's reaction to the Robert Pattinson news that's making all of the headlines, so to speak.
Yeah, but I do think it's worth talking about because it's an interesting topic about how actors approach these roles. Do you think it's fair to say that someone should try physically too, as along with the acting? Is that a fair thing? And the other thing I heard was that he was just trolling. This is just his personality. He knew the reaction. He knew everyone would flip out, and he was just doing it to get that reaction. These two guys on the new panelists, they're pretty fit guys, so they might have a lot to say about it. So I'll go to them first. What's your thoughts on Robert Pattinson saying, I'm in lockdown. I don't need to. I'm not really gonna go by my trainer's recommendations. Oh, well, do you think that's a little disrespectful, or you think he's just trolling, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, with the whole look, I don't think he needs to do it. I mean, unless like there's some sort of shirtless scene, like Ben Affleck's training scene in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I saw his ass.
He's
in the shower.
I don't think you need to do all that. I mean, unless that's the only reason I can think of having that.
Right, unless they had some sort of like prerequisites, some sort of agreement saying, hey, if you get this role, Matt Reeves and whatever said, hey, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. We need you, because I mean, there have been, actors, actresses that have to maintain, especially like in the Marvel universe, they have to maintain their physique somehow, as they go along, as their character progresses, it's in the fine line. So if he's in breach of contract or something like that, then that's on him because he agreed to that.
Yeah.
So, if he said, yeah, sure, I'm going to lift, and then it was like, nah, it's okay. I'm just going to.
Well, he's not out of shape. Look at that.
Yeah, he's definitely not out of shape.
I mean,
he's definitely gotten bigger. He's no longer. He doesn't look anything like he did in Harry Potter.
Yeah. I think people haven't seen him in a while. He's just going to look bigger automatically because the general public hasn't seen him in a general audience movie.
Right. He's been doing a lot of indie films. The Lighthouse was the last one he did with William Dafoe. Did you hear that when he mispronounced his own name? That was funny. But so he did that, and he did another one where he was like the brother of somebody that was slow and whatnot, and it was really, I forgot the name of the film, but it was really good. It was a good film. But he looked okay in that. But I mean, I definitely think he has put on some pounds as far as like muscle. And I would attribute it to this role. So, maybe there's a little bit to that, so we'll see.
Now that I know what fans are saying, that this is his personality, I kind of think he's more like a Joaquin Phoenix. He plays it in his interviews, he likes to do throw a little nug just for fun. He doesn't care what people think. Obviously, based on this, people are still calling him the twinkly vampire.
He caught some hell for like putting down Batman, when he was like, "Oh, Batman's not a superhero," and then everybody's like, "Wait a minute, what are you talking about?" He's like, so he had to go do damage control. It's like, "Oh, when I said he wasn't a superhero, he's actually a superhero," and that was a couple months ago. And
I missed that one.
Yeah, it was like he was talking about, he's a vigilante and Batman's not actually, a superhero, and that was like that made headlines. I guess I'd heard some commentators talking about that, so just kind of regurgitating.
Well, I mean that's kind of what I think. I think he's just kind of like trolling, I guess you would say, or he's just joking around. I don't think he's actually being serious with his comments.
Could be.
That's probably the more logical explanation.
Yeah. I think this is a lot. I think actors and actresses are actually doing this a lot now, just to have fun. They know how much they're critiqued online. They know it's going to happen.
Well, Batman and Superman are like the two characters that are under the microscope because they're so iconic. Yeah. They've been around for. I mean, Superman's almost been around for 100 years. It's coming up on the 1930s.
Yeah,
and. We're 2020. That's 90 years. So you looking at me? I know. So yeah, I mean, those are the ones that they're my two favorite characters. And I would, I'd love to see them do justice, in their roles. So
all right, Akancha Jaisal's here, Brian Hill, Phobic Zeno. How old is that phone? I think it's recent.
He's throwing some heat.
Yeah, fire him. Hire a real actor. I think he's a real actor.
Yeah. I think he's a real actor too.
He's definitely a real actor.
I don't think Phobic's giving him enough credit, or he's just like
Well, Phobic,
being too negative.
Would that change your mind if he was triggering people? Like, I know you like to trigger people. Maybe if someone was interviewing you, Phobic, would you do something like that just to get a reaction and a laugh? I think that's actually your personality as well. You guys are Snyder Cut?
Okay.
Yeah. You admit it exists? Do you admit it exists in some form?
Oh, of course it does.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I mean, I own 2 copies of the Donner Cut, and that exists.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, even if we don't get it this year, next year, whatever, it's gonna come at some point. It's further along than the Donner Cut was. So it's just a matter of time as far as like when it's going to be released and what executive or executives decide, hey, let's go ahead and release it, who knows?
So, yeah.
So Nerdalot, what's your thoughts on Robert Pattinson's comments about the exercise? I need to exercise. Well, that's all I know.
We all need to exercise pretty much. Except for Zezerfet, that they've exercised a lot.
we do keep.
So it's all coming from this
good
article.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sir Nerdalot.
So it's all coming from this article from GQ. And if you read it, the writer of the article is really like telling this story about how isolation is affecting him. So it's really a part of the narrative, I think, and I don't really think it's a big deal. I think everybody's blown it way out of proportion. I really do.
Of course,
especially John Campea.
Yes, Campea. Did you see? I don't know if anyone saw my reaction video to Camp. He went full camper. He went hard. But the other, I'll be real. I talk about it. I talk about that's what gets me in the most trouble. I talk about all the movie pundits here on YouTube. He isn't direct. That video was created as a big spectacle in response to a certain Andy Signore and Jody's Corner that gave him heat on criticizing body shaming Gal Gadot. So if you were, but what I saw was a very uncomfortable, cringy old man of movie talk, looking at actresses working out.
Oh yeah,
Robert Bennett.
Oh yeah. I need
like the Kool-Aid guy,
Oh no.
So William Freeman William Freeman. This is why I don't think I could change it back to Mad Max movie talk. It gives me joy every single freaking day So is this channel part of G&G now? No, I am Geeks and Gamers Entertainment. I'm not plus anything, and I'm not minus either. Do not settle for below average Geeks and Gamers. We're the real deal here. All right, so Goldman, yo. Oh yeah, you remember it right. You remember it right. This is okay. Phobic setting up straight. Okay, yeah, you watched. Hey, Goldman in the chat, you watched Campia's video. What did you think of it? Oh, I need to change my profile pic. I don't want to go that far. I need to represent the madness a little bit. I also want to now. Some of you may have already watched this, but I thought it'd be fun to watch together. Is the deep fake of Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones? And then the question I would like to present to all you after is: should they still go with Harrison Ford, or would this be? I don't think they're going to do it now. Harrison said, "Oh, okay, well."
I kind of think that time has passed for Harrison Ford to be in a Indy 5.
They already did that with Crystal Skull. Let's just get away from it. Let's just go.
Yeah, like I kind of see Crystal Skull as kind of like his send off a little bit because he got married at the end of it, and it's like you don't need to bring him back. Just maybe pass on the torch to the next generation.
Sure. That's what they were trying to do with what's his face, Mutt Lang.
Yeah,
they were like, that's the Lang series, but nobody liked him. He was like, he's swinging with the monkeys again.
Oh, you're phobic. You're talking about Robert Meyer Burnett. Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and they didn't show, and they muted his audio and video for 10 minutes. I was like,
he sat there smiling like weird. I was like, because I like Robert Meyer Burnett. He's a sweet guy. You know, he's been in the industry for a while. You know, he's really cool. But that video was pretty funny.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, I actually liked his take on it more.
Oh yeah. Out of the two, John. Yeah, I agree. I like his take as well. All right, let's watch this.
But that's still creepy.
Can you hear everybody?
Yeah.
He looks good, I'm telling you.
No. He's been working out.
well, maybe we haven't seen Guardians 3 yet.
Oh, here you shaming him?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Remember Guardians 2? That was the joke. I have no room to shame anyone. Believe me. Now that's a little odd to hear the voice.
There's a mustache?
Well, it's his beard. It's like
no ticket.
He looks really good in the role, really.
Well, this had been brought up years ago when he was doing Jurassic World. They were like, "Oh, he's so beautiful."
This is the little one that's a little odd because he's actually more built than Harrison.
He's pretty big.
And this part here was ad-libbed.
Yeah. That's one of the best parts ever, too.
It is. Just like that, I know.
Wasn't it because he was sick that day or something, right?
I don't know. It was either that or he was tired of. He either didn't like the dialogue or didn't like the what they had in mind. So they were like, yeah, just do whatever, and they used that cut.
Oh, phobic, man. Pratt's. I don't think so. I would no. If you could only pick one, I'll make it real hard on everyone. Would you rather see it's probably not going to happen. They're going to go with Harrison because people would, especially if Harrison wants to do it, they're going to make it happen. Would you rather see Indiana Jones 5 with Harrison or something like this with Chris Pratt coming in? Or do you just think they'll touch it? That's a third option.
Man,
Being somebody who wanted to grow up and be Indiana Jones, I want to see Harrison Ford again.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sir
100%.
Nerdle. I mean, it's a hard one. You only have three choices. Okay.
I do think Chris Pratt would make a perfect replacement for Indiana Jones.
I agree. I think you should use Chris Pratt and deep fake Harrison's face on a Chris Pratt's body for Indy 5. Just make a period piece.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't like fast women.
I would maybe say, man, this is hard. Maybe I would go with Chris Pratt because I think Harrison Ford, he's kind of gotten maybe a little bit too old to play the role where it's not really that believable anymore. I mean, they got away with it in Crystal Skull because he wasn't that old when they made it, but now it's like he's getting up there in years, and it's. I think they should just let him rest and hand off the role to somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I think with Spielberg bowing out, and it's time to put this.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Yeah. Now that Spielberg's out, who did they? I don't know who they got to replace.
The guy that directed Logan.
Gold. Okay, never mind. Never.
Mango.
Yeah. Actually, now I forgot about that. I have a bad memory. I forgot about that news. Now that changes my mind. Now that Mangold is there, remember what he did with Logan.
But he's a good director. But think about this.
Okay.
Think about Logan, right? Okay, I saw Logan, and then on Netflix, I watched this other movie with Mel Gibson, and it was called what was it called?
I know what movie you're talking about.
Bloodfather.
Yeah,
Bloodfather.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting upset. I was like, son of a bitch! These people copied Mangold. They copied Logan. The look, the story. Old man with the little girl. The little girl happens to be his daughter, and they're trying to leave or trying to escape these people that are pursuing them, and needs to get them across the border and also. And I was like, son of a bitch! And then I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, this predates the release of Logan. And I was like, well, it was reversed. So then Mangold. I mean, it's kind of like the Rolling Stones. When they released that song, and they had to give K.D. Lang credit. Because music is a little bit more stringent than movies because it's a different beast. But they had to give her credit because their song "Saint of Me" was like her Constant Craving song, and it just sort of and that's how I see Logan and Bloodfather. I was like, nah, dude, it's this came out after Bloodfather, so therefore Logan is there is the Mangold had to have been what do I want to say. Influenced by this other movie, and when he went and pitched and because even the way it looks, the only thing that changed about the Logan movie was the clone of Wolverine, Patrick Stewart, and just everybody being a mutant. So I don't know.
I'll have to check that movie out. That's a fair point, but they Hollywood recycle stuff a lot.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's always
coming out the same year.
It's always alarming when it's so similar, though. Like you're
like
really
with Deep Impact,
right?
Armageddon.
Oh yeah, exactly. That too. But those again, I think they both came out the same year. This one came out like a year or 2 years later. And as I was watching the movie, I was like, man, this thing is eerily familiar. And we recently we saw Logan at the movie theater, and I watched this movie. I was like, man, this is just and what was it? And then it kind of hit me. I was like, oh damn, that was Logan. Nothing against Hugh Jackman; he's just an actor going and playing a role. But and I thought that Logan was a good movie. It was interesting. It was completely different from anything else in the franchise, and that's why I was like, wait a minute, maybe there was a little bit of influence there because it was so different, from the Japanese Wolverine, and Wolverine Origins with Ryan Reynolds and all that.
That's a fair point. I do like some. I think he's at the best part of his career though. after that, and then Ford v Ferrari was really great.
Great movie, yes.
And
Very entertaining.
even though it would be similar, now that I think the better question would you rather have Steven Spielberg back or Mangold? Because I kind of want Mangold. Really.
I think the older you get, it's okay. Think about this: John Williams I love all of his scores, and I can hum almost 80% of them. He didn't give us anything fantastic in the sequel trilogy. I mean, not only were the movies, but the orchestrating, the narrative that he orchestrates or whatever. Just there wasn't anything like Duel of the Fates, or the Imperial March.
I feel like George Lucas was focusing more on the music, but the sequel trilogy they didn't really do that.
They didn't.
I feel like Kylo Ren's music was very iconic.
Right. I mean, it was.
I
changing
don't know if
the
that's
arms,
John
but,
Williams.
Yeah, I mean, John Williams was still there, but it was just kind of muted, and there was nothing. I can't hum for you anything other than maybe Rey's theme.
And Kylo's theme.
And I don't remember how.
Okay.
Anyway, I can do Rey, but other than that, it's just a blanket. Like I don't know. It's non-memorable. So I think the older you get, you kind of need to give the reins to some of these younger cats and give them, a chance at the reins. So I mean, Mangold's a good decision. I think he would bring a good, Indiana Jones. But again, same thing. If you're going to replace Steven, Harrison's got to give us some new blood.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that Mangold's at the prime part of his career, and unfortunately, Steven, what an amazing career, but he's not on it like he used to be. I hope he gets like a really good resurgence, like with really hot material. It's just the last, what was the video game one?
Ready Player One.
Yeah, it was okay to me.
What made that movie wasn't Steven Spielberg. It was all of the CG that he, or not even him, that his staff and the people that he employed inserted. That's what people went to go see. They went to go see the Easter eggs. It was flooded with Easter eggs. So people were like, "Oh, hey, this is the best thing since Back to the Future." Even though he didn't direct that one either.
Phobic Cena says the sequel trilogy music was generic. I think at points, I don't think there was as much orchestration. Like there wasn't as many and musical numbers, more homages to previous stuff.
Well, another movie to highlight that I told this guy. I'm sorry, but I want to get this out real quick. Is that think of the Justice League movie? Warner Brothers scurried and hired Danny Elfman. They were like, "Oh man, we're going to Batman, the freak out of this," and they, John Williams, we're going to use his Superman score and then hum me anything that you recall from the Justice League themes, other than the little tidbit of John Williams Superman, the little tidbit of the Batman that was his score, from the 80s, and then of course Wonder Woman's score, which is kind of memorable. But other than that, anything else you can't remember because he just phoned it in. So it wasn't classic Danny Elfman like Spider-Man, or the Addams Family, or
or the Hulk. I like his score for the Hulk.
I agree. Right. I mean, I think the older they get, they're just kind of like, we're out of ideas, guys. What do I do?
So we do, for the next topic, we do have an update on New Mutants. It is going to theaters, and we'll talk. I'll share the. Well, I'll just read it to you. You guys could just react on screen. I don't need to pull up the article. It's on IGN. The New Mutants have been rescheduled for an August 28th, 2020 release. This marks the 5th release date the X-Men universe title has had in 2 years. The movie was originally slated to hit theaters April 13th, 2018, then February 22nd, 2019. The New Mutants was postponed to August 2nd, 2019, and then April 3rd, 2020, and now August again. Almost 2 years after its original release date, it has been yanked due to the pandemic.
That's the reason. They were ahead of their time with the pandemic.
Yeah. They're like, we're going to keep this going until we hit a pandemic.
So that's pretty crazy. Will this new August 28th release date stick? honestly, who knows? Given this pandemic and the slow reopening of movie theaters worldwide, with the New Mutants. I'm sorry. What's that?
It's too good to release. They just
No, I don't think that's
Oh
it.
man.
But there's some interest there. The reason I shared this specific article is there's some interesting thing as to why it's not going to VOD. Let me see.
Pirates.
No. The Deadline reports that Disney still intends on releasing the Fox acquisition theatrically rather than on their streaming services, Disney Plus or Hulu. Although Disney brass have suggested some smaller titles will pivot from theatrical releases to digital debuts, the New Mutants will not be among them. And then as Den of Geek recently explained, 20th Century Fox had existing cable rights deals in place for some of their titles at the time of the Disney acquired Fox. So this movie was already had the contracts in place before Disney took over. I don't think they, for some reason, something in the contract, they can't just go VOD first, I'm guessing from this comment, which precludes the New Mutants from being shifted to Disney-owned streaming platforms. Something with the rights. So that's what's holding it up. That's why I think they would consider.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that would be why they wouldn't do it. I think otherwise they would definitely go straight to VOD.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they put those in place so that they cannot disrespect the title and just like, oh, okay, well, it's on our streaming service. You didn't know that? You know, it's on the third page. So.
Will any of you be rushing out to see New Mutants? I think I'll wait on that one personally, even though I want to see it. It's just I think I could wait.
I'll see it when it comes out.
I was excited at first, but then it kept going back to the point where I just forgot about it. So I just.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you know, the delay, it kind of gets you jaded, and you're just like, oh, did he really release this thing or not? Yeah. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, the talks and the buyout of you know, when Disney acquired, you know, Fox, it was just like, okay, well, that one is in limbo and we'll see how long it takes. It'll eventually get released, but the bigger question is it going to be released before or after the Snyder Cut?
I have a feeling the Snyder Cut will come out first.
Oh, really? All right. So I hope you're right. I think this will come out first, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're probably right. That would be cool if it was the other way around, though. If the Snyder Cut came out first.
Although there's that thing they did on Harley Quinn, the actual creators of the show have come out and said they are for it. They were just having some fun. Yeah. So that was a big
which makes Jody's video even more ridiculous. The one that you and I covered.
Yes.
Well,
these are Jody's fans, though. I mean, they're supporters of Jody. At least I know that. Zeverfet.
I see. I don't have any animosity, you know, with anybody. I mean, you know, I get suckered into watching Mike Cera because puts his thumbnail.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
I'm like,
forget what I said at the beginning of the show.
No.
If
Brian Johnson says this guy's a fool, then I've got to find out what this guy knows. But no. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'll listen to Camp even though I'm not a fan. I mean, I'll listen to anybody, but I am a fan of Jody, and I think he's passionate. I think that, you know, like anybody, you know, that's his hustle. You know, that's what's up. You know, and same thing with Andy. You know, Andy's got his own little thing going on or whatever, and my spidey sense kind of, you know, goes off because I do place Andy in the same pot as John Campea. You know, I just that's where they fit. That's where they live. And Jody, I think, is just sort of, you know, feeding off of his, you know, past, you know, his echelon of, you know, of access and whatever. And he's trying to get back to where he used to be when he was with Screen Junkies. And, you know, I used to watch him on that show. And yeah, I mean, you know, seriously, I can pick a fight with almost anybody, you know, that's streaming, you know, whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just fans trying to get our, you know, our word in. And
I want to still talk to every one of them.
Yeah.
Phobic, I didn't know this. The mayor of LA is pushing to extend the lockdown for another 3 months.
That's true.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yep. I think the rest of the country is trying to get back on track. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my state is just telling everybody to wear masks. That's the only thing they're doing right now.
The funny thing about masks is that it should be mandated to everyone, right? Of course. And if those masks work, then we should be back to work, right? Because they work. But if they don't work, then why are you putting them on? And really and truly, the only people that need to be wearing the mask are the ones that are sick. Keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. That's what it's for. It's to, don't cough on me, cough in your mask, and it's disposable. So get a new one. So
Yeah.
Fair point.
That's
All
a fair point.
Let me see here. Avatar 2 on JoeBlow.com. I could share this one. Let me see here. I'm excited for Avatar 2. I know everyone. That's another one that everyone loves to hate on. But never count out James Cameron.
I'm with you, man.
And he pushes the genre forward with the special effects, which I think were sorely lacking. And I think they gave up on pushing special effects after 3D. I mean, they're fine, but I don't see anyone really going like James Cameron is. He's doing all kinds of new stuff, underwater stuff. There is a set behind the scenes photo in here. As we know, the Avatar sequels will be exploring the underwater world of Pandora. And although I'm sure that any other director would simply cheat the whole underwater aspect, reasonably, considering that it's entirely CG, James Cameron said, F that, we're doing underwater motion capture, dive in, bitches. Okay, maybe he didn't say that exactly, but entirely new technology had to be developed in order to film the motion capture sequences underwater. The official Avatar Twitter account has posted a couple of photos during the underwater motion capture at work, which features Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Kate Winslet, and Cliff Curtis. Check them out below. I'm excited for that. What's your thoughts? Is it necessary? Is he just much to do about nothing? Like, do we need this with special effects, or do you respect the art and go in that extra mile to really push motion capture in a new direction? No one else is doing this for underwater sequences that I know of.
James Wan, didn't he? All of his underwater. Yeah,
for Aquaman. Yeah, I like Aquaman. That was the big thing.
That's the reason why it made $1 billion, because they released it in IMAX. The same thing with this Avatar 2. It's going to make some money. It's going to make a whole, crap ton of money, because that's what people go to the movies, to the IMAX to go see. They want to be engulfed, and they want to see the beautiful CGI that they can, just witness and go back and take, and the older, patrons want to go and see some spectacle that they've never seen before on the screen and all that. So, I mean, I see that it's it's going to be sort of like the Aquaman movie. It's going to draw and the audience in China that spends all that money that they want so bad are going to go see this. Mm-hmm. I think it's like New Mutants, though. It just keeps getting pushed back.
Well, I think the reason that Avatar took so long is the way it's financed. It costs so much money, in part because of the special effects, that James Cameron, I'm betting there's going to be some new theater technology when this comes out to push, alongside it. He gets investors, like with the 3D in the high frame rate. That's when they were originally going to do Avatar 2 with The Hobbit. Yeah. And no one liked the high frame rate. And people were like, okay, and that would help 3D get better.
They're gonna use 4D and start shooting people with mists, and
the rumored thing was glassesless 3D, like no glasses for the 3D. But I don't know if they'll go that route. I bet there's going to be some type of new technology.
Special contacts. Yeah. You gotta put in your eye before you go in.
Yeah, I'd wear that. No. Hey, Hans. Let me see what the chat's saying. And let me see. We have a couple of theaters where I live that aren't AMC, and we do support them. Practical over CGI always. Cameron does great stuff underwater. Haven't you seen The Abyss? Yes, I have seen The Abyss. That is a great one. Yeah. And thanks for bringing up Aquaman.
Yeah, James Cameron has a lot of...
Go ahead, Sir Nora.
Oh, no, James Cameron has a lot lot of underwater work, a lot of documentaries too.
Yeah, it's his passion.
It's all underwater work. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for
even
bringing
even
up.
Titanic had to do with underwater too.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing up James Wan, because he's one that also really brought. You're right, Aquaman. They went for the special effects there more than most of these.
It was beautiful.
Oh yeah. I think it's underappreciated in that aspect as how far they went with it, and it wasn't just one creature. Like a lot of movies have, they focus on one CGI creature. There were so many under the sea creatures in there. Big epic battles.
And then at the end, you had Mary Poppins. Just that creature. What was her name?
I don't remember.
It was the big. It was a huge creature. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, that was Mary Poppins.
All right. Let me see what else I got here. Ethan Hawke leads Wild trailer for Showtime's The Good Lord Bird. I don't know if I want to do that one. I'm not sure. I am happy to see Ethan Hawke back in. I want to go back catch some of the movies I missed to him. I'll check to see if there's anything else that we have here in the chat. Anything that you guys are working on while I look that up?
Yeah, this guy's working on a Star Wars trailer.
It's not really a trailer. It's like one of those tribute videos where it's like, it's mainly Anakin Skywalker. So I'm just working on stuff like that.
Okay, are you going to be releasing that on the Zeverfet channel or your
yeah, his channel.
Yeah.
That's where I usually put my stuff.
Okay.
Just side stuff that I like doing.
All right. I'm going to check out Slash Film.
You should highlight Han's bad feeling comment because it's pretty funny. He's kind of like
okay, Anakin.
yeah, he's parodying Anakin's line.
I don't like water. It's wet and cold. Not like you, Max. You're warm and don't. You're making me uncomfortable. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Robert Meyer Burnett, nerd a lot here. Yeah. Christopher Barker, Robertson Pattinson is a hack. Man, everyone's there's a lot.
Everybody's hating on Robert Pattinson.
I've yet to be excited about this Batman movie.
Go watch The Lighthouse, Remember Me, and then come back and say he's a hack.
No, he's a good actor. Nothing against him as an actor, and nothing against anything else. But just the costume looks kind of weird. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this is the first incarnation of his costume."
Yeah,
second year Batman. The guns on his chest is.
I like that.
It's a cool idea, but what happens when he gets shot at or he gets hit and it gets knocked out of the suit or damaged or whatever? It's like, no, not the guns. What do I do now? It's like, what? It's like, because it only works until it gets damaged. I'm like, it would be cooler if there was like, just some sort of, he took the gun, like, made it look like a bat and just put it in the bat cave. And it was like, that's a constant reminder of, Martha.
I see your point there. I actually really like that touch, though, that it makes the symbol on his chest, and I like the more practical Batman.
It's a cool concept.
Yeah,
but the implementation of it and putting it into practice and putting it into the only thing that looks, like the Batmobile is just a muscle car with like maybe some cool lights on it, and it's like, okay, that's not enough. But 89 Batmobile is still better in my opinion, and then his costume has the weird ears and the weird goggles on his eyes, and that's kind of odd. But
So
I need to see it.
You're fine with the collar? The high
Collar
collar
looks kind of cool.
Okay, cool.
I'm cool with that. I don't care
Just
about
making
that.
sure we're on the
So
same page.
it's all good. It's not like a Dr. Fake cat, collar.
Yeah.
But and then the Bat bike. The only thing that's cool about, that's actually cooler than the Batmobile. It's just it's got the ears on it and whatever. That's cool. But I don't know. Other than that, I'm just not super hyped for it. I need to see something more than just these stills that they've put out, which of course we're going to get. But I just need something to get me excited about it. Cause so far I'm just like, all right, so what's next?
What about Matt Reeves directing? Are you a fan of him?
I am a fan of the two Planet of the Apes movies that he did. He didn't do the first one, but I liked what he did with those. And I thought that they had a lot of gravity to, for the Caesar character, which of course is played by Alfred. But I don't know. I mean, I'm cool to see something different, like, like what Batman by Gaslight, or, whatever it is. I don't care if this is in the 90s or in the present time or whatever. It's cool. Give me as much content as possible. I'll watch, 4 Batman movies in a year, with different actors playing or portraying Batman. I'm just get me excited about, why do I want to invest my time, my love, my experience at the theater on this particular Batman? So far, it's, I don't have that answer yet.
Mhm.
But I mean, I have hope that I'll get that answer.
At this point, there's been so many versions of Batman, though, they have to do something different. They have to, different approach. So I'm really looking forward to it. I trust in Matt. I like Robert Pattinson. I think he is on a comeback. Not that he ever went away, but he really has done his work to get away from the sparkly vampire, which everyone brings up every single time, which I think
I'm
is
surprised
unfair.
Harry Potter isn't brought up more than that.
Yeah.
But the one thing I liked or I loved about Zack Snyder's Batman was that you finally get to see a non-black suit Batman. You get to see the gray definition, the muscles. It makes him look imposing. And like, if I were in an alley with that guy, I'd be like, no, I'm not a villain.
I was more impressed with the fighting. Like, I've actually
that
been
too.
wanting to see a brutal Batman fight.
That
Yeah.
too. But
Yeah.
I mean, from Keaton to Kilmer to Clooney to Christian Bale, they've all had just the straight black Batman batsuit, and I'm like, okay, great. Now with Ben, we get this different suit, and it's like, hey, Matt Reeves, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go right back to the black Batman. Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, I was really disappointed how that his Batman fell through before Matt Reeves took over, because he was going to direct it himself.
Yeah,
It was all around the same time.
and it was gonna have Deathstroke in it, from what I heard.
See, what I would love to see is the Deathstroke played by Joe Manganiello, Ben Affleck reprising his role, or somebody else. Use Ben Affleck's script, because of all the good accolades that I've heard from it. And then if you want to give it doesn't matter, but Zack Snyder would be a perfect fit for like that sort of Arkham type Batman versus Deathstroke movie. And you're only as good as your last movie, and unfortunately he didn't get to finish his last movie. That's why he's working on another movie here to sort of get some of that street cred back, the zombie movie.
All right. Yeah. Here's Cowboy, which a controversial comment. There's been lots of versions of Catwoman.
Halle Berry?
Yeah, and Eartha Kitt from the old series. So it's not anything new. And I think
and what's her face from the TV show, the 1960 TV show? I think that's
Eartha Kitt. I think.
Yeah, that's Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
She was also in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, okay.
And then she was also in Emperor's New Groove too. She was the villain in that movie.
Yeah, I like that.
And the recent comics, which that could be another can of worms. I don't know if we want to open it, but they've been doing that too. What's her name? Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz's Zoe Kravitz. Yeah. She has the persona. She's very naturally like this. She's comfortable in her own skin. She puts herself out there just like Catwoman. So she has that going for her. I mean, not saying that she's not going to act, but I think she's also going for it. And unlike Robert Pattinson, she's been hitting the gym. So if you want,
she's going to kick his ass.
Yeah. So look out for the Robert Meyer Burnett video of him looking at workout photos from Zoe Kravitz. I actually don't think he will. Phobic. I don't think he will. I think he's getting a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe.
I know he complained about Mortal Kombat when the casting for Raiden was announced for the live action one, the new one by James Wan.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the guy from Highlander, the original.
Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I'm really who is doing the new Mortal Kombat? I know
I know it's being produced by James Wan, but I don't know who's
producing it. Okay.
I don't know who's directing it.
Well, I trust James Wan to produce a high quality blockbuster. So
Yeah.
I hope who else? It would
Yeah,
be
he's
great
never
if he.
tried.
It would be great if he direct too, though.
This
That
guy
would-
loves his movies.
Yeah.
Wait, which movie?
All the horror movies that he made.
Oh yeah, the Conjuring universe. Yeah, I mean it was a good start. I mean it's been kind of, I don't know, it hasn't been that great recently, but it was good. I would like the first two movies.
Yeah.
Conjuring 1 and 2.
It's surprising though that they're going to do the side story from the creatures from Aquaman that they're still going forward with
Trench.
that. The trench.
The
What do you
Trench.
think about that? I guess I'd rather see him do something else, really, though.
I'm saying throw as much in the pool as you can. Something's gonna
No
stick.
pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended. But also Patty is trying to work something out for like an Amazonian movie. She wants to do Wonder Woman 3, but then she also wants to produce an Amazonian movie or Themyscirian movie that is maybe a period piece that has nothing to do with Gal's character. So I think they're just throwing darts and whatever sticks. So I mean,
Just
I'm cool. Give it to me.
Bring Cavill back.
Yeah.
Bring
I mean,
Cavill back
yeah.
and
Yep.
give us a really good Superman movie.
Yeah.
Like you'd mentioned in a different stream where you want the Flashpoint movie to reset everything. I'm like,
Well, I not
me?
necessarily, but they could do it. They could do everything everyone wants and still make it. It still has to be done right.
I'm not against a Flashpoint movie, and in fact, I'd love it, but I wouldn't want that as the first movie. Give me a solid Flash movie. Bring in Reverse Flash.
They'll be rushing. They'll be rushing it again.
Yes, earn it. Give us a reason to invest. That was okay. So like the Flash CW show, the first 2 seasons are the only ones that I give a crap about because those are the best. That was the best writing, and it was the best interaction. It kept you invested and engaged, and it was like, how is it going to defeat the Reverse Flash? How is it going to defeat in the season 2 Zoom? And it was just it kept me in until after that season 3 it just kind of and then I'm done with the Berlanti universe. Besides Titans, I did like Titans.
Yeah, I'm actually watching the second season of Titans now. There's things I like about it. Oh, so you're not a fan of the Titans?
No, I still haven't seen it, and I want to see it. I want to see it real bad. I was hoping it was going to be on the HBO Max, but I've heard that it's not going to be.
That's ridiculous.
Well, the problem is like that DC universe.
I have it, which is there's not a lot there.
Nothing.
I don't have it.
You have a vault. You don't have any of the Nolan movies. You got none of the other animations. They put Mask of Phantasm on there, and then they take it off like the next week. They put Sub-Zero up there, and then they take it off the next week. It's like, are you trying to tease people? Because nobody, you got nothing on here. They got Swamp Thing, and they're like, okay, well, we can't renew it. Let's just send it to CW. What do you think about that? What do you think about Swamp Thing going to CW?
I didn't check that one. I have DC. Is it off there already?
They could only do 1 season because that's the only thing that they had funds for, and so they could not renew a season 2 under the same contract or under the same the place, I guess, where they were filming. So it was up in the air as far as what they were going to do with Swamp Thing, and so then they decided, okay, well, we're going to put it on the CW, kind of like they did with Black Lightning. Black Lightning wasn't originally, I think it was on CBS or Fox. It was on a different. It was something else, and they brought it over and brought it into the CW.
Yeah, I don't know. Taking away something, I was looking forward to Swamp Thing, and I didn't watch it because even before it aired, it got announced that it was canceled. I was like,
yeah, and I heard good things about Swamp Thing too.
You guys should check it out because
it's a good show.
Enjoyable,
yeah, I'm excited to watch Swamp Thing.
Excuse me.
Well, CW, I think the app is free too. Just ads if you catch it on like a streaming platform, like a Roku or something. So that's a good way to watch it. I've had the ability to watch. I just never go on to my DC universe, and I paid for the year and I forgot to cancel. That's the other reason I still have it. One more topic, I think, and then we'll end the show. And it's about the new Mission Impossible. It's on Slash Film. I'll bring that up.
Oh yeah,
now.
I heard about this too.
Are you guys still excited about Mission Impossible, or you're just like, okay?
What else is he gonna break?
Yeah, I respect him for still doing the stunts.
Yes.
He's no
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson. He's like, heck yeah, I'm going for it. Which I respect that. Not that he's an old guy, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have to, and he still does it. And I would like to see, hopefully when after this is released, that we get good special features if he's still doing his own stunts. I hope that comes up in an interview. After the last one, are you still how much of this are you still doing, Tom? And I bet 100%. I bet you like I'm still going for it. I bet you that's his personality. So new Mission Impossible sequels, character details teased by director Christopher McQuarrie. All right, the Mission Impossible franchise has barely begun production on the 7th installment, with the pandemic shut down, like every article now, shut down movie and TV sets all over the world. Although I have heard that they're in Europe, they are doing new plans to get productions rolling again. So that's great to hear. We need art entertainment. So it's the first two. It's a back-to-back sequels, which that could be. I don't know. We'll have to, after I read this article, give your thoughts on that too. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? The release dates have already been pushed back to give Christopher McQuarrie and production star Tom Cruise to make sure everything is in order when the movie is allowed to resume production. Thankfully, that gave McQuarrie, as well as a couple cast members, some time to talk about what fans can expect from the two sequels. Christopher McQuarrie was recently guest on talking about a podcast. He also joined by Simon Pegg, and Haley Atwell is going to be in it. They couldn't dig too much into it. There's not much in this article. I should have pre-read that. What are your thoughts on? I mean, I guess we could just talk about our thoughts on the franchise if we're still interested. And do you think the filming back to back is a good idea?
Well, fun fact: Christopher McQuarrie had two pitches. One he had with Henry to do a Superman movie and a Green Lantern movie, and then when that didn't fall through, that's when he went back and said, okay, well, I'm going to finish doing these Mission Impossible movies. So he had ideas for both, and he had some, but Warner Brothers was like, thank you for the pitch, but we're going to go the course, so that should tell you something, because he was going to take, and Henry was on his, he was rooting for him as well. He was like, yes, please, because Henry wants to have a Patty Jenkins or a James Wan, or just somebody on his side saying, hey, we're going to make 12 Superman movies featuring you. Fortunately, he has Dwayne Johnson, but that's not a director. So he really vying for Chris to step up and say, hey, I got these pitches, and they were going to kind of go galactic, sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy with the Green Lantern Corps. And which I'm excited. I love the Green Lantern Corps. I don't like it so much that it's going to, what is it going to? The HBO Max? Yeah. I want to see a theatrical, movie, but with Mission Impossible, man, yeah, dude, he's got these two movies. He's gonna Lord of the Rings them, and let's see what happens. He's hopefully it's a good, compelling story. Hopefully it's better than what they're trying to give us with Bond.
Oh, you're not a fan of what? Well, wait, you can't throw heat on and then just be quiet. What do you mean? What do you mean about Bond?
Man, okay, Bond is like hit and miss. Like Casino Royale is good. Quantum of Solace sucked. What was the next one? The one word. Skyfall, good. And then the next one they did, it's just sort of like, yeah, it's just hit and miss with that. It's like, oh, you got me with a good movie. Oh, you got me again with a shit movie. Oh, here we go. We're going to do it again with a good movie. I wonder where 4 is going to go. Oh, sucks. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just this next one should be good in that logic.
If you follow, you're right. That's pretty much how Bond's always been. Oh, it's a mediocre one, a great one. Sure. Like for a while now, actually.
So who would you like to see pick up the mantle of Bond post Pretty Boy?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't think they are replacing James. spoilers, what I think is going to happen in this next one. I think the
Jane?
female character, no, I think she's just going to take over the 007 and not be James Bond, not going to be Jane Bond or anything. I strongly feel that, especially knowing Daniel. I have a big issue with Daniel Craig being disrespectful to the franchise with his comments about the last release. I'm never going to come back. If I had to, I would do this to myself, and if I ever did, it would be for the money. So the moment
Harrison
you say
Ford? Were you putting Harrison Ford?
I guess you could say that about Harrison too. But he's also held up production that long, and Danny Boyle was attached to direct. I'm very conflicted on this Bond release because I like also Rami Malek, and he's going to be the villain. Lashonda Lynch, I think she looks all right in the role she's playing. I don't know the movie. I originally was going to boycott it because of Daniel Craig, and he got Danny Boyle off because creative differences. He's held up production, and I really think he's the type of egomaniac that says, I'm not going to come back unless this certain thing I want. And I really think this is honestly my, spoilers. I think they're going to kill off Bond and have her take over. And that's going to get a big reaction. I think that's the only way he would come back if he do something that dramatic.
Sure. I mean, that's the same thing like what we said with Harrison Ford. He came back. He's like, my account hasn't been changed yet, Disney, and they just flooded him with money. That's why he's been making appearances. He did not make appearances before Episode 7. He didn't give a shit about Star Wars. He could care less. He fought, and so did Gary Kurtz and Lawrence Kasdan. They all fought to kill Han Solo in Return of the Jedi, and so he was just like, I'm done with that character because he was a co-star in Star Wars, where he was a star and everything else, plus Indiana Jones, which was also a George Lucas production. So yeah, when you get that sort of status, you get that mentality. It's just sort of like you lose yourself and you start thinking that your britches are bigger.
Yes, that's why I don't. I can't stand egomaniacs like that, and I don't think it was for the love of the character. And honestly, what is he? He's using that as a tactic to get more money, which that's your right to do it. But then he makes these small, crappy indie flicks, and he thinks he's really legit with his southern accent. Like he's not that great of an actor. I mean, he's okay, but he's not doing anything revolutionary to put up this much fuss. I don't think. Matt,
there's no other role. There's no other role that he was like fantastic in.
I mean, what is he without James Bond?
Yeah. He should be like Hugh Jackman. Right. Hugh Jackman and Chris Reeve.
He's the standard. They're the standards, yes.
Yes, exactly. That's why
I always get behind someone that puts that much passion into the franchise, the fandom, the character, such respect. Yeah, you're right. You guys are all right. Harrison Ford's like that too. I just have a harder time hating on Harrison. I don't know why.
Sure. No, it's because he brought so many good movies. You're like, oh, you son of a bitch. All right, I'll put it in and watch another.
I think I said hello before. Open every box. He's a classic gamer guy. Affleck, the only Batman that actually resembled comic Batman physique wise. Fair point, I think.
And Affleck hated working out. He despises.
I didn't know that part.
Oh no, he did not like it. But he had that shower scene where he showed his butt, and he had to do it. He had to conform. So I mean, that's kind of like when you saw Joss Whedon's version, he'd put on a little bit of pounds, and but he's gotten he's gotten better. He's in more better shape now.
He was depressed.
I
also not to get into his personal stuff. But I also think the fan reaction just crushed him because remember, he did not want to get back into superhero movies unless it was the right thing. Batman's one of his favorite characters. He has a lot of Batman memorabilia from what I've heard of, and he wanted to get past the Daredevil nonsense.
Yeah.
So it was very important to him. And then also, the fan reaction, then they had to go straight into filming.
Yeah.
And then he worked on his own script. He was going to direct his own Batman, and they removed that from Warner Brothers. Has done some really nasty stuff to their talent really nasty stuff.
Well,
Taking over.
I just don't know what happens behind the scenes. But Ben Affleck is the only person that's played both Batman and Superman. So he gets that cred from me. Even though he was portraying George Reeves, he still played both characters. Which is really cool.
What are you talking? What movie is that?
God, it was I guess the life of not Chris Reeves, Chris Reeves,
I forgot
George
about.
Reeves.
Okay.
He committed suicide.
Yeah.
He died and all that and whatever. But it sort of showed that time period. I forget the movie. It's just
That's
I
a fair
watched
point.
it because
Yeah, I totally forgot that happened. I never watched it, but now I'm kind of remembering slightly.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
I'd like to take that. That's not a hot take. That he's my favorite too. Oh, Hollywoodland. Yeah, I totally forgot about
there
that
you go.
movie.
There you go.
Leave it to Matt. So, So I think we'll leave off and then pimp the hell out of your channels on the way out. We're going to end the stream, but we're going to go one by one saying your favorite Batman. I think we kind of have a glimpse now. My favorite is Ben Affleck, and then Christian Bale, and then I think third be Michael Keaton. Your top three Batman.
Oh man.
Sir Nerdalot, you want to go first?
Top 3 Batman.
Yeah. And pip your channel too.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and make people mad.
Okay.
So Christian Bale is my favorite Batman.
Okay.
Second would be Keaton
All right.
because I grew up on that Batman. And then Affleck.
That's a nice 3. Sci-fi?
Well, I've only seen the Nolan Batman movies and the and BVS. So the only 2 Batmans I know of are Affleck and Bale. So those are my top 2, I would say.
Well, who's your favorite out of the 2 though then?
Did you hear me?
Yeah,
I was freezing up.
Yeah, who's your favorite out of the Christian Bale or Ben Affleck? Who's the top? I know you're the 2. Oh, he's freezing up. Okay. Zeverfet, go ahead.
You go first.
First is Affleck, and then Keaton, since he showed me him as my first Batman. And then third would be Bale.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just can't do Bale. I mean,
really?
I just can't.
What the hell
You don't
you doing
like
on
Bale?
my show, man?
I'm sorry, I
You're
just
throwing
can't
up all
take.
kinds of heat
I
the
can't
whole
take a
show.
Batman
I don't
serious
know. Okay.
that has a lisp. It's like Rachel, come on, I gotta save you. It's like, I mean, I love the growl, but it's like it's like come on, Alfred, we gotta go for this. Save the city. That's why the college humor thing was so funny.
Yeah.
Is because they made fun of his lisp. I mean, and it's legit. I mean, I saw Newsboys or Newsies. Yeah. So no, I'm sorry. My favorite.
What do you guys think of Dark Knight Rises? Because I know Max doesn't like Dark Knight Rises.
I don't like that one.
I didn't like it either.
No, it was phoned in.
Oh, really?
What they did with Robin? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that was actually your real name. I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's not true. I was like, and then all the cops getting trapped underground is like they couldn't find a manhole. Like, they couldn't use each other as a ladder. Like they did in freaking World War Z. They blew up all the bridges. I mean, you have Bane that's like,
Yeah, I couldn't stand Bane.
It's like, what'd you say? How can I take you serious? I'm gonna break your back. You're like, okay, calm down there, buddy. And then he, of course,
and then they just wait for Batman. They have control of the city. They're gonna blow it up anyway, and then they just wait for him. They wait months for him to come back. No one tries to save the city.
And then Batman's like, "Are you guys ready?" You're like, "Come on, guys, let's storm the village." It's like, shut up. Who's this idiot?
It was total letdown for me.
The costume was shit. The
Okay.
costume was shit. It looked like just padding. It didn't. I'm sorry. The Batman Begins costume with the thick neck that was imposing. That's like,
it's harder to move. They wanted to,
that.
Yeah.
But okay, fair enough. But save the rest. Keep the rest of the outfit. The gloves and the gauntlets and the belt and the chest piece. Everything looked fantastic. But given that that weird neck or whatever the high cowl or whatever. but I just wasn't. I'm sorry. Okay, so my favorite Batmans is Kevin Conroy, Adam West, and I mean Michael Keaton would be a third. I love Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck, and I'd love to see him continue the
live
role.
action, not
live
animated too.
Well, Kevin
definitely said
Conroy
Kevin Conroy.
is alive. So okay, live action.
Open Every Box is trying to make a joke here. There's no one says that. No one says that.
He's got the credit card.
Adam West just he's not my favorite, but I have like the best
I
memories.
grew up on Adam West.
Yeah,
so
of going to my cousin's house. And,
Cesar Romero. I mean, Burgess Meredith. That's who I grew up on. Watching that on Nickelodeon or whatever. That's that campy Batman is. They should make a movie. They should, and not the movie that was shark repellent and all that, but they should make a kind of like that Brave and the Bold. But turn sort of that universe, give us a different incarnation. It doesn't always have to be brooding and dark and mysterious and, Martha. It can be a fun character too. Okay, so Michael Keaton was my first, I guess after Christopher Reeve, Michael Keaton was just the next big superhero, and he did 2 movies. He was going to do a third. Wolfgang Peterson was going to be the director. And that fell through, and so all that money, got opened up, and they got Val Kilmer, Chris O'Donnell, and they showed us some bat butts and bat nipples, and it went downhill from there until Batman Begins.
Yeah. Something I've always put on the back burner that I really want to watch. This is switching from Batman talk, and this is also towards the end of the show. And it's a shame. I'm sad to admit this, because I always wanted to see it and support Schnepp too, is that Superman documentary. Have you guys watched that?
Which one?
About the Superman where Tim Burton was going to direct and Nicolas Cage was going to
Oh my God. Superman Lives?
Yeah,
And they got what's his name? The guy that cries a lot. Jay and Silent Bob. What's his name?
Kevin Smith?
Kevin Smith. Yeah, he cries a lot. He cried. And I was on the set and I just literally cried. I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. He must be lactating. Because he definitely cries a lot. He is sincere, and I'm sure if I met him, I'd probably give him a big hug and all that. But I mean, the thing is that he always leads in with that. Man, I got teared up, and I was like, okay, let's calm down. But so what he did, somebody made him put in. It was a producer, a crazy producer that got it later in the Wild Wild West with Will Smith and who's that other guy? Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
And they put that big stupid spider at the end of the movie, which Kevin Smith had to put in his script because the producer at the time said, man, I've been thinking about this great idea about this big old spider that's going to kill everything, and the Superman has to come in and fight the big spider. And what do you think? And Kevin was like, well, that's fantastic. I'm going to put that in my script.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm so glad we didn't get that shit.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
That would have sucked. I'm like, oh, no.
I still don't watch I want to watch that. I was just thinking, my mind was just going there based on all the proof that Snyder Cut does exist in some form. I'm not. You could debate on whether it's like 100%. I don't think anyone says it's like. This is the go-to argument. Oh, people think you could just stick it in a Blu-ray player. No, I don't think hardly anyone thinks that.
It needs to, there's so many things that need to happen with it. The score was complete, but who's to say that the ADR work is completed? Who's to say that anything is actually 100%? The thing is that I don't care if it comes out this year. I don't care if it comes out next year. I don't care if it comes out 5 years from now or whatever. It's going to eventually see the light of day.
Yeah.
And the people who are like naysayers, they want to be on. It's a 50-50 coin, right? They either want to be on the heads or the tails. And it's like, if it doesn't come out, like, oh, look at me, hey, cred, I got, I said it wasn't coming out, and then you have the other people like, oh, look, I said it wasn't.
They want to be right. I just can't be about canceling an artist's art. And how can you fault the director for getting questions, and he'd have to lie to his fans saying it doesn't exist. Yeah, you don't want him to lie. I mean, that's the other argument is like they stop encouraging.
If he does, if so many people were like, oh man, quit trolling the fans, and he's just sharing an experience that he had, which is well within his right to do, and his movie was almost completely 90% reshot.
Yeah, I think
so it wasn't really his movie, and they had to give him director credit because that of course that's in the Directors Guild. He has to have those rights. That's why Whedon is on his story and not as director. No matter I think he has to direct 100% of what's seen on screen. But there's some clause, and anyway, Deborah Snyder, she works for WB as well. So I mean, they're not going to go that far and totally destroy this guy. But it was unfortunate. They were in a position where they were running around with a chicken with their head cut off because they didn't know what to do. They cut the BVS movie short. Thank you. Because
I know. I mean, you're running the show. I'm like, okay. I could just have you on. You want to come here every night and do my show? No,
man, we're just gonna have to set up. I'm just gonna eat my meals. You're like, what's up? And my co-host.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, it is unfortunate, and to have it to where they were like, okay, well, we've got to change Suicide Squad. So they went and changed Suicide Squad. We've got to, redirect the universe or whatever. They changed a little bit. I'm sure they changed something or bits and pieces of Wonder Woman. They let James Wan have his own say or whatever, and that turned out great. And then they threw out Shazam because they were like, well, we'll kind of see how this see how it works. It didn't make a crap ton of money like the other ones did, but it was an enjoyable movie. Nonetheless, it was still fun. And then they were like, oh well, hell, let's release Birds of Prey, and not only that, let's give it to somebody who's only had a couple films under their belt, and not only that, but let's give it to let's get this writer in here. She's only got a couple scripts. Bumblebee's okay, maybe, but
I liked Bumblebee.
Wow.
Bumblebee's okay, but I liked it better when it was called E.T.
Okay, man, I gotta cut you. I was trying to end the show. Hey, Matt, does he always talk this much? I like it. Like, yes, he does. Okay.
I got a plethora.
I know. He's throwing out hot takes every which direction. I'm like, I don't even know where to go. I'm like, okay.
Video get too long.
Yeah. He always has to edit down the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why we can't do a live.
No, I like it though. I like it. So, hey, thanks for Zeverfet for coming on. You're welcome here again. I gotta.
I'll let him talk.
No, you did great. You did great. Sci-Fi Dragon's always here. He's a great friend. Sir Nerd a lot, and go sub to their channels and tell them how you go watch their videos, go watch the reviews, and tell them the Madman sent you, and go in their comment section, give them a little boost. I mean, a small boost. I'm not a big guy myself, but go watch their content, and you're welcome back. I just have a feeling if I let you go, I'll be here another hour, and I gotta get to bed. I gotta get to bed for work. I got a long day at work tomorrow, so.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, anytime. And if you want us to come on, or we have a great group of people here to collab with, I look forward to your content. So that is where we'll leave it. Movie Madness tonight. And bye, everyone. And you guys could stick there for like a few minutes, talk real quick, but I'm ending it now.